What is going on, busy bariatrics? Let me ask you something. How many summers have you said, I'm going to get serious after this trip? I'll start when things calm down. I'll just try to maintain for now. And then September rolls around and you're frustrated. You're starting over. You're wondering what happened again. Here's the truth. Fat loss for summer doesn't actually start in June. It starts right now. And if you wait until life slows down, you're going to be waiting forever. I'm recording this episode live because we're getting close to the summertime. And if you live in the Philadelphia region, we are having what I have graciously called Charlie Brown Springs. It's where you'll catch a couple 70-degree days and you're like, shoot, I may have to be near a pool deck. Or for me, we will be attending a bariatric event with Betsy Dovick in Orlando. And there is a pool party, and I'm probably going to have to take my shirt off at the pool party. But I'll get into that later. I'm recording this episode also the day after my co-teacher Bree's wedding. And it's always fun going to a wedding with your coworkers because you get to see them in a different light. Food was amazing. Bree looked amazing, and her and Billy definitely, they're just starting out. They've been together for 8 years, but they were just so happy yesterday. And it was so cool to see that and celebrate that and be able to be a part of it. So I'm moving a little slower. I got the intro done. And if this comes off a little jumbled, so be it. But that's what life is. It's finding a way to get things done when you're supposed to. I told myself I'd record this episode yesterday before this event, so I would be a little bit crisper and fresher. And then life happened. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I'm okay with that. I think one of the biggest mistakes we see people make when it comes to summer fat loss or anything else in their bariatric journey is this idea that they have to get it perfect. And if they don't get it perfect, they have to do it on Monday. We'll just reset on Monday and we'll start on a fresh calendar week. And for me, it's look, I woke up, I putzed around for probably, I'm recording this at about 11, 4 hours, wow, of just hydrating and kind of relaxing. But I want to talk to you about fat loss, about summer camp, about all the awesome things we're doing in Busy Bariatrics. I know a lot of these episodes, you hear them, I record them in the summer and they drip out, so they're kind of more evergreen. But this one's live. This will go out on Thursday. If you're hearing this, it's Thursday. I recorded this Sunday. But this time of year is always interesting because we are getting into April. And every single year, I kind of watch this happen. Instagram, TikTok, all the socials kind of blow up with, I'm going to lock in. I'm going to get set. I want to make this my best summer ever. And then if you follow the accounts like I do, you see vacations hit, barbecues come, kids' schedules change, dilemmas seem to always be happening, and routines start to fall apart, and all of a sudden it becomes oh, well, it's May, I guess I don't need to do this work, or I guess we'll just have our shirt on more, or it's already summer, I can't get anything done, and I'll just get back on track when my schedule tightens up in September. And we know how that goes. September becomes back to school. You're taking your kids and you're juggling a whole new schedule. I know for us, mid-August is when we start to get the kids' schedules come in, and that's when I start to pull what's left of my hair on the top of my head out, because it's how are we going to be able to shuttle these kids back and forth? And we figure out how to make it work in our household. But then when I look at it, it's looks like I don't have a day off from either shuttling or working with clients or doing check-ins or building Busy Bariatrics, which, again, it's fine. I signed up for this as being an adult, and we all signed up for this as being an adult. But when I look at my calendar, I realize I kind of have to be a morning gym goer again. And then September goes into October, November, December. And then really, if you look at it, that's probably 7 or 8 months where best case scenario, you maintained your weight. But what more than likely happens starting May is you gain half a pound to a pound here and there. And next thing you know, you're up about 15, 20 pounds from where you were when you started April 1st. So if that sounds like your schedule and how you do things, I'm just curious, how's that working for you? I know I ask that question a lot to my clients, to people in the bariatric community, whenever I go to a meetup and people are like, hey, this is what I'm doing for my workouts or my fitness or my nutrition. And I don't know if it's because I'm a coach that people feel they need to confess what they're doing or why they've fallen off or how they're going to get back to it, but I usually just respond the same way with, how's that working for you? And what I don't think a lot of people realize is that summer doesn't necessarily ruin your progress. There is no season that ruins your progress, especially because, like, when I look at seasons, like, yes, some are colder, some are hotter, obviously, but you know what you signed up for when you chose to live here. And if you chose to, like, move to somewhere else, then those same people seem to have the same problems. The same people I meet at meetups who are not working with us say the same things of, well, once this heat breaks, I'm going to get back to the gym. And then I'll see them at a colder event, and it'll be, like, well, once it gets a little warmer, I'll be outside more. And it really comes to the mindset of, like, you just keep kicking the can. And this episode hopefully gives you an idea that fat loss starts now. And you need to understand that I do it too, or I used to. Every summer would hit, and these Charlie Brown springs would come where we'd hit, like, a St. Patrick's Day, where it hits 70 degrees. And I would sit there and be like, oh man, like, I've got my shirt off. I'm just wearing, like, jeans and a t-shirt, and I've got a little bit of a belly hanging over the jeans. And I'm like, ooh, I really got to start to get in shape. And then, I do St. Patrick's Day things, and I forget about it, and it gets cold again, and I don't think about it again. And I would eat more, I would drink more, I would push my workouts back and say, well, I'm not getting any more workouts done during the weekend because I'm not feeling the best. And I would tell myself, like, it's just the season. Like, this is not the best season. Or once I hit summer, I'm going to fully work out, I'm going to meal plan, I'm going to meal prep. And then summer would come, and the problem is summer comes in, and as a teacher, I don't have to go to my day job. So even when I'm coaching, I tend to dine out more. I will meet I'll take my grandmother to lunch. She turned 95 2 weekends ago. Yeah, 2 weekends ago. We surprised her with, like, a 95th birthday party, and everyone was there. And it was a pretty awesome thing that went with that. But when we saw it, everything kind of came together. And like I said, like, because it's the summertime, I tend to live life a little bit more because I don't have as much structure. I kick the can a lot with my friends where I say, like, well, once it gets to summer and my schedule clears up, we'll hang out. And that's kind of what you want to do. Like, I take Thursdays to kind of go out and see my friends or have dinner, or I take the weekends to take the kids on road trips or do whatever I want. We live a lot less structure in the summer, and it's great. I sleep in, I relax a little bit, but if I'm not careful with it, I will gain weight. And that's just because I'm a human being. After bariatric surgery, I don't think anyone is perfect, but you are pretty predictable. You know your pitfalls as a human being, and you know what comes and goes with everything you do. And that's why we have summer camp, and that's why we know the importance of summer. I think for a lot of people, they think they need to have this perfect summer where they're, like, incorporating fresh produce and they're working out and doing, like, runs on the beach, and they're getting everything done because they're highly motivated because of the weather. And in reality, you just need more structure into your system. And if your structure disappears every time your life gets busy, you don't really have a fat loss plan. You have a phase, or you have a shiny object that you completely work on. And that's exactly why we built Busy Bariatric Summer Camp the way we did this year. This is not another program. This is not another challenge, even when I go on other people's podcasts, which, when you listen to this, I know, I'm trying to think where I've been and where I haven't been. This is, like, tangential because you're getting, like, a live episode of everything, and it's kind of outlined a bit for this. So if it sounds a little all over the place, it is. But I had the awesome opportunity to be on the Bariatric Banner podcast and talk with them. I recorded with Mel. I'm recording with Brenda Hone and ProCare. You're going to hear me on a lot of bariatric podcasts, even Betsy Dovek's The Weight Loss Collab. So you're going to hear a lot about me. And the reason is I just think summer camp is so critical. And this year is just so much more bigger and better, and we have more resources put in place with everything. But it's not a boot camp. It's not a shiny object syndrome. It's the start of our coaching program, and it's kind of an incentive. It's not a sale. It's actually just we throw a lot more your way in the bonus system, and it's the start of our 6-month program that you work with us. But if you start by the time of this recording, like April, you have April, May, June, July, August, September. We'll take you right through the entire summer and into the busy part of the BURS in the best shape of your life. And we help you build that structure. We help you build that consistency. We have people come in who help teach everything. And starting May 26th, and running all the way through that summer, we're bringing in new guest experts every single week. Every Tuesday, we're going to have them focusing on different areas of the schedule. And that'll be everything from, we have some of the best registered dietitians that are going to be sharing, some of the best mindset experts. We've also gotten into more this year than previous years with GLP-1 experts, menopause experts, and behavior change experts, because everything gets chaotic. They're not just random people I pulled from the internet. These are people who actually believe in what we do, and it's kind of cool. So let me tell you like a couple of the people who we have, because I'm always amazed at this. But if you're looking at it, we have like Kayla Gergen, who has her own podcast about blood sugar after bariatric surgery. Jenny Young, who I met when she was working at First Form, and she has branched out on her own, and she's going to teach us how to incorporate summer foods and how to hit our fiber goals after weight loss surgery. And as I coach more bariatric patients, I will say, I think the ones that are the most successful don't worry about hitting proteins, carbs, and fats perfectly. They hit their protein and calorie goal, and they hit their fiber goal, which is why we have Kayla and Jenny both kind of like tag teaming, but doing independent things. Because the more experts you hear say the same message, the more it sticks. And there is psychological research that shows that. It's the idea that all of these experts that we bring in say the same thing and messages that I do, and they kind of work. Jared Hamilton is probably one of the lead experts on food noise. When he speaks, he will be just finishing up his TEDx presentation. He was invited to do that on how to quiet the food noise. And he's probably one of the top food noise experts. And it was cool when I pitched Jared to come and help summer camp. And I told him, this is what we do. He's like, this is absolutely amazing. Who can I get to help? And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, no, I work with bariatric patients. There's nothing like this for bariatric patients. Who can I get that's on your wish list to get? And I'm like, well, I know you're friends with Beth Farrico, who's one of the top menopause weight loss experts in the space. And he was like, done, just tell her I sent you. And he actually introduced me to Ryan Kassim, who is one of the best people on healing your relationship with food. And I got to have a 45-minute call with Ryan. We're going to be on each other's podcasts during this run. But again, when you're good people and you do good things and you connect with other good people, you always want to connect other people. And the cool part is, when I was recording with Mel, Mel's like, hey, when I gave her the whole speaker camp series, she's like, these are amazing people. Do you think you could introduce them to me? And I'm like, absolutely, because I just think it's important. I look at when people come into summer camp, one of 3 things happens. Option 1 is they're like, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened, and they stay forever with me, and I love this. Option 2 is they go through all the speakers and they're like, you know what? Someone like Laura Grabeau made me realize I need to heal my relationship with food. She's a speaker this year. I'm going to go work with her. Or Kristen Lloyd, who really gets into the mindset work. Or they realize they have a little bit of trauma and emotional healing, and they're like, maybe I need to spend more time with Karen Kenny in there. And yes, I'm name dropping because they're summer camp speakers, but the goal is, I truly believe when you work with other people in the field, there's plenty of clients to go around. And I want you to feel safe and comfortable to be like, hey, Rob, maybe Busy Bariatrics was what I thought I needed, but I realize I need maybe someone like Corby Jackson, a bariatric therapist, or Tabitha Johnson, another bariatric therapist, or registered dietitians like Hannah Schuyler or Mike Shea, or, like we said, Kayla or Jenny. We have so many amazing experts who know how to work with bariatric patients, who are built for bariatric patients and support the bariatric community, as well as people like Jared and Beth and Stephanie Crasweller, who, if you're not following her, she is probably one of the best experts when it comes to menopause, hormones, and fat loss, as well as people like Connie Stapleton, who joined the first summer camp and did it. So you have like all of that. You get your nutrition done by our coaches. You get an opportunity to work with Kylie, who is on her GLP-1 journey after her third child, and she's doing amazing. She is strength training, I want to say 4 times a week, incorporating a GLP-1 and eating over 2,000 calories, and the weight is just dropping off. So if you're on a GLP-1, if you're considering a GLP-1, you want to work with them. And when we speak about GLP-1s, we've also brought in Summer Kessel, another registered dietitian who works with Vineyard, and Dr. Spencer Nadolsky on Vineyard. And she's going to talk about how to start incorporating GLP-1s. We also have Tabitha Johnson, another bariatric therapist, talking about why you're not losing weight on a GLP-1 and what you have to do from an emotional standpoint. So again, you can work with them, or you can work with Lisa, who has helped so many of our clients navigate menopause and thrive, as well as break down gym intimidation and get into the gym. And it's really cool to see people say like, look, I never thought I'd be able to set foot in a gym, and now you have to drag me out of it. And a lot of that is from Lisa's encouragement, her coaching, and her development of everything. So again, like, you've got more teams and resources in summer camp than anywhere else, and I really believe this. And you get a chance to start now and get everything through. You're not just getting like some motivational hype and rah-rah talk from me and my team. You're getting clear strategies with our busy system and method that has worked for hundreds of clients. You're getting daily check-ins on your workouts from Lisa and making sure that everything's good. You're also going to get monthly, and you're going to see next week's episode is going to be myself, Stacy, Kylie, and Lisa giving us what we're excited about for summer camp. And then just each month on the podcast here, we're going to give you what we're noticing from the expert calls, as well as what our clients are thriving and succeeding with. So it's pretty cool with everything. This summer, we're really focusing on breaking down what actually matters, what's actually going to get you the results after bariatric surgery, and what to focus on. Because it's funny, we're seeing a lot more in the space. Like, it used to be juice cleanses and apple cider vinegars, and now it's these like compounded GLP-1 cocktails that don't actually have a proper source of what to do with anything. It's seed oils, it's Red 40 that people are freaking out about. And what we really do is we get rid of all the noise. Usually when our clients like come in and they're like, well, what do you think about this? We have clear science and research-backed approaches that kind of cover everything. But now's the time, if you're considering fat loss, to get started. And this is the best program to have, because even after bariatric surgery, if you are in your first year, this is a great way to fine-tune everything. Lisa, our one coach, is a great example of that. She came to us, I want to say at the end of summer camp 2 years ago, and was convinced she was done losing weight. She was eating like 800 calories a day. And we gently ramped her up to 1,800. So to give you an idea, that's an extra 1,000 calories a day we included into her diet. And she lost about another 60 pounds and is lifting heavy and is now a coach. And her words, not mine, she could have never imagined the life that she's living right now. And that's the goal of like not just summer camp, but of being in Busy Bariatrics. Is we really do give you the ideas, the habits, patterns, behaviors to work on that actually get clients results, as opposed to, you know, shake weights, everything else, detox teas, and everything. And that's where fat loss, I think, gets really confusing for many people. They think like May's going to hit and it's like, I'll drop 10 pounds by June, and it just doesn't work that way. If you want a healthy, sustainable approach that makes sure that you don't balloon back all of that weight, you really need to shoot for about half a pound to a pound per week. So if you want to lose about 12 pounds, you need about 12 to 24 weeks to do it sustainably. And for a lot of our clients, but when they come in, they're like, that seems like a really long time. And it's like, yeah, but how many times have you done those 30-day weight loss challenges, or those step bets that you are like walking around like a nutter butter at 11 o'clock at night to hit your step goal, and then you realize like, oh, none of this actually worked. We put it all together with the system that helps you build muscle and then burn fat so that you actually enjoy your lifestyle and you're not living in a gym or strapping yourself to a step machine and just plodding along. It's to actually get the results that you want. So we have the most sustainable approach for that. I will also say when we look at our data, the clients who actually stayed through summer camp, that means like they stayed past the 4 months that we have all of these speakers in place, lose on average 25 pounds more than the clients who leave after summer camp. And it's a ridiculous stat. The people who come in for summer camp and leave almost right away usually tend to lose no weight or gain a pound or two. And there's a lot of reasons as to why that happens. Sometimes they come in and they don't start doing the work of everything. Sometimes they have life that happens, but usually when they quit, I don't have any data like if they lose weight afterwards, but the ones that stay, and so many do, like if we had 20 people join summer camp, about 15 choose to stay after summer camp because they've realized like, oh, I have a whole recipe library of things to cook. I have my nutrition tracker being checked by some of the top pros in the business. I have workouts by some of the best coaches in the business. I have a community call that I get in front of some of the best experts in the business. They've realized that like even if they stay at the Hive level, which is 150 a month, you could do that for what most families spend if they go out to like Applebee's for a dinner for four is about 150. And that's strategic on our part. We put the amount at roughly what the average household uses on fast casual or fast food combined. So that's DoorDash, Instacart, all of that stuff. And that's at about 150 a month, where you can come in and get all that. If you want to work with one of our coaches, that's a little bit more. But it's still compared to industry standard. I'm a really bad business person because I pay my coaches more than industry standard and I charge less than what the industry would charge for remote check-ins and one-to-one. And that's because, like, I think for bariatric patients, I want this to be as affordable as possible, but you also have to have some skin in the game for this. So it's why we don't give away too much for free. I mean, you have the podcast, you have daily emails. We give you 10 free recipes a month for free. So actually, we do give a lot of it free. And I always appreciate so many of you message me when I say, like, I don't know if these episodes come in and I have some feedback. I'm trying to think, like, there is a couple people, I don't know if they're comfortable with me sharing their names. They'll be like, look, I listen to the podcast. I'm eating the meals from the recipe guides and I'm down 5 pounds in a month and I don't feel restricted and I don't feel like I'm living in the gym and I'm getting stronger. And that's kind of the goal with it, is to how we can make sure that you have your best life possible. And we do that by like really starting simple of like, let's get your calendar together and see what actually fits into your calendar. And then we start to work into like, what's the mindset and identity shift that needs to happen in order to get you off your plateau and your weight loss journey. And a lot of that comes from just working on habits, developing boundaries with people, how you navigate travel, as well as the blind spots of, oh my goodness, I didn't realize how hectic my schedule is, and now things are getting thrown at me. And some simple techniques that we use by teaching clients to communicate boundaries helps them stay on track and stay consistent in their bariatric journey. And that's really why, like, I say we have a system as opposed to like a challenge or a boot camp. This is actually what gets results. And it's that we teach you how to do this for life so that even if you work with one of our coaches, the cool part is we have this happen all the time. We have clients who work with me for about a year or work with Kylie and Lisa for a year. And they're like, you know what? I'm doing really well. I don't think I need coaching anymore, which is the goal, is to get you to graduate from coaching. But they're like, I want the workouts. I want the nutrition. I like the community calls. I like being held accountable. And they join the Hive and they stay there and they thrive. And we've had clients stay in the Hive since we've opened the doors. I will say my coaching spots are extremely limited. Every time I have a client graduate, I usually tell my Hive clients I have an opening, and it usually almost always gets filled immediately. So if you do want to work with me one-to-one, it's extremely limited, but you got to be in the Hive to get that announcement. Sometimes I put it out there. But a lot of the times, like, people are in and they're like, you know what, I'm ready to work with Rob, or they work with Kylie and Lisa and they get their foundations under them and their feet under them. And they're like, you know what, I want to work with Rob and see what that's like. And it's a pretty cool spot. But if you're considering summer camp, I will tell you this. When I told my current clients that this is what we're offering, this is what we're doing, we have this opportunity, we have 75 seats. And as of right now, as of the time of the call, we had 53 clients. 52 of them said, let's go. This is exactly why I stay. And this is exactly what I want to do this summer, is get to hear these experts in one-to-one calls where you can ask them questions and get that. And to give you an idea, a lot of our speakers charge anywhere from $400 to $800 for those sessions or for their speaking engagement fees. And so many of them waive the price just because they're like, you know what, this is an amazing program and I'm happy to help and support. And that's where we're at. But to give you an idea, 53 people in, give or take, only one person said, I'm out. That's their choice. Everyone gets a say as to why they want to be in or out, but we only have 52 in right now, and we are capping at 75, which means like 52, like we have 23 spots available. So I'm not doing this as like that crappy salesman way of like, hey, if you don't sign immediately today, you're going to sell out. Although this may sell out, you might have some time. I always want to check, but to give you an idea of what it'll work, there's an application right below if you're still listening and you're like, I want to do this. You're going to fill out the application. You're going to get a text from me from my cell phone because it's me who still does those calls. And I'm going to schedule you to just have a conversation and see how we can help. And not everyone we can help, unfortunately. I think we can, but I'll either direct you to who I think they need to work with, because some people, they do need more of a therapeutic approach at this point, or they may need someone else. But for the most part, it's just so you know, here's how we plan to fix your problems and where I think you would be best. Some people, I'm like, you know what? I think of my one client who came in, she was already at her goal weight. She was lifting. She wanted more of a community, some consistency. And I was like, yeah, you're a perfect candidate for the Hive. And she's been here 7 months and she's lifting heavier than she ever has. She's eating more food than she ever has. And she's doing phenomenal. There's other people who, like, we had someone join in September who was 2 months post-op. And I was like, I really think you need coach to help guide you through all this. And she is down like 92 pounds as of this recording because we've given her the lessons to work on each month in her bariatric journey, how to incorporate other foods, how to track. And she's doing phenomenal work with Lisa. So the call is really just to see like what level of resource I think you need or if we're a good fit and how to do this. So if you're still listening and getting an idea, what I want you to do is I want you to stop avoiding the summer. I want you to build around it. And I want you to plan for the fact it's going to be chaotic, but that we expect that disruption and we allow you to work and we create a system that holds up anyway. And that's what summer camp actually is. As an extra bit, we are actually adding a live component this year, which means Busy Bariatrics is going on tour. So if you're listening to this episode live, we are kicking off in Orlando May 1st at Betsy Dovek's Bariatric Retreat. If you're considering going, Bets actually gave me 2 extra tickets and they're totally free. I was going to give them to 2 of my clients, but they're already going. So I've got 2 extra tickets. So if you're listening to this and you're on the fence about going in Orlando, DM me. It's going to be first come, first serve. And when we get to the third person, I can't promise anything. Then May 21st, Memorial Day weekend, if you're in the Ohio area and listening to this, I will be in Columbus for my daughter's Great History Challenge. And I will be hosting a meetup at a Skyline Chili of my choosing. And we may work out first, then get chili, or get chili and then work out. Probably smart to work out before, because I don't know how my workout's going to go with Skyline. That's going to be May 21st in Columbus, Ohio. And then we will be in Los Angeles June 13th. And that will be myself and Kylie. So Orlando, you get a chance to meet Lisa and Stacy. Columbus is just me. Los Angeles is me and Kylie. And then in Portland on July 18th, you get a chance to meet myself. And I'm not, maybe I was supposed to say Pacific Northwest. I think Chris and Chris confirmed it, but we're partnering with Bariatric Society. If you're thinking of going to any of Society's events and you're still listening, join Busy Bariatrics. We give an obscene discount, and sometimes we just give the tickets for free to our clients who are going because we want to see you as well. And then we also provide a private workout. So if you're coming to Orlando, you'll do that with Lisa. Columbus, you'll do it with me. Los Angeles is Kylie. Portland is me. And then in the fall, we are going to be in the New York, New Jersey area. And then I think I am doing Christmas with Rissa and Chris in Charlotte. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6 live events where you can meet with us. You can get a workout in. We will guide you through everything and help you get your best life together. So you've got more than enough opportunity here. So the real question is, are you doing another summer where you're just going to try your best and hope that it works? And again, I'll go back to what we started with in this episode. How's that working for you? Or you're finally willing to say, you know what? I'm going to put a system in place that doesn't keep me binging and restricting. It doesn't make me feel like a bad bariatric patient. It's a patient who I don't want to be that person who's restricting carbs their entire life. Like, I harp on our clients because like some clients will come in, they'll be like, yep, I'm looking for low carb recipes. And like, you need glucose to function your brain. We teach you how to do that. And that's why I bring some of the best expert registered dietitians in to kind of focus on that. So if you've been thinking about joining coaching, this is like the warning sign. You're going to see in our email list, we're going to give you an update of when these coaching spots get filled and what we're doing. But just know, like, I can't promise you because once we get to 75, we're done. And the reason I'm capping at 75 is I want you all to get a chance to ask questions when the speakers come in. And we actually had extra time last year when we capped at 50. We had 50 people and we would still have lag time. So I ended up asking the bulk of the questions for the speakers. So we're going to try at 75 and see if more people ask questions and go from there. But at 75, our coaching software goes up significantly in price, and I am still very cost conscious about things. So at 75, we're going to cap it because we don't want to overwhelm Lisa or Kylie with new clients. But after that, it's over. So please, 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 if you're listening or you think you know someone who wants it, this is the episode that you need to share with them. Because if this episode hit, this is the calling sign not to just nod your head and move on. It's time to really do something about it. Because awareness without action is just another way to say stuck. Again, awareness without action is you essentially saying, yep, I'm really thrilled to death with being stuck. And if you think you're stuck, you got to remember you're not uncoachable. You just haven't worked with our team yet. So again, links are going to be in the show notes. Please don't diddle around on this. Make your commitment now. And I hope to see you there. And if not, let me know why. Either email me back at rob@busybariatrics.com or message me on Instagram at my weight is history. Go somewhere and tell me why you aren't joining summer camp, but you're listening or reading the emails or doing something, because I'm legitimately curious. But anywho, it's been 36 minutes I've been talking. So hopefully this hits. And if not, I get that too, but I am done. I'm going to go watch my daughter at her dance competition, and then I'm probably going to take a nap. So as always, you're more capable than you give yourself credit for. And as always, keep getting busy.